how do I figure out how I should be engaging with stakeholders?
Yeah, that's maybe a 1 or 2 sentence question with probably another blog post answer. But I could say the worst time to get them involved is after you've already done all the work and you've probably wasted your time and theirs at that point. So you need to bring them in before you start. You need to talk to them while you're developing that proof of concept. Again, I see so many parallels between data science and product. Product has the same issue where if you go heads down for a year and build a product and never talk to your customers, you're not doing that continuous discovery, you're going to find that you built the wrong thing, almost guaranteed, right? And so you want to have the discussions ahead of time and do the discovery work before you start working. But then once you start building what you think they need, you also maybe weekly, right? Probably know if you're doing a 6 to 12 week POC, yeah, at least once a week, you need to be getting feedback from some key stakeholders that can tell you when you're on the wrong track. Something I thought of just now when you asked that question is, you've heard this idea that airplanes are like constantly off course throughout most of their flights, right? And so the pilots are always having to make these slight course corrections to make sure they get to the right place and not 500 miles off in the wrong direction. And the projects are like this. Like, we got to always be making these small course corrections. And for that, we need to have the consistent input from the stakeholders. So if you want a rule of thumb, every week be talking to them. And not every time, not 5 times a day when you're making a 2% improvement on your R squared value or something like that, but about the key stuff. And when you're talking about this, I also think it's important to note, we don't want to just be an order taker. Like, oftentimes people seem to be asking for one thing, but really they need or want something else. You might not know how to verbalize it, or you might not be aligned. You might be misunderstanding. We can uncover this by putting as much effort into understanding our stakeholders and executives as we do into understanding our data. I think the data scientists, we really understand the value of the exploration phase, and you got to know the data. You got to know the stakeholders that are telling you to do stuff with the data also. So if you take that same kind of diligence and apply it to people, you'll probably be on the right track. And I just say you remember that it's our job to translate between those people and the data. So it means tailoring our communication to these folks. And there's no easy silver bullet for that. All I can say is, again, iterate, talk to them often, have the mentality that you want to carry their banner, because they probably are the closest to the big business drivers, and their banner is probably going to be good for the organization. If you don't know yourself yet, then trust that and be on their team. And when they see that you're on their team, they're going to be excited about what you're doing.